Navi's turn to ban.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 between Navi and the Danish Bears here in the Epicenter EU and CIS qualifiers, the very first match of this particular division. And the very first game, Danish Bears actually came out swinging here. They took the game on the back of some really strong, maybe a bit greedy play, but very strong execution. Navi kind of felt lost at times now. They need to do something different. My name is Dragondrop, happy to bring you this match, and I'm joined once again by my good friend and the almost 1K MMR caster. It is Ray Burrows. How are you doing?
999, never forget. No, but this is, yeah, I just happy I get to cast this game because Danish Bears was one of those teams that, like I said, nobody really knows about if you're not keeping up with the scene too recently. And I just feel like they have such good early game aggression, and they just play the same kind of style that Navi did. Like last game, that's kind of not Navi's style. Like, sure, you have Ditya on his Ursa warrior, you have General on his Faceless Void, you have Dindy on his Invoker. Like those are all signature heroes, but you still didn't have like an art-style jungle hero. You didn't have any pressure on any of the lanes, really. I mean, Suneko had to carry that game on his back for the first 10 minutes, and he did. He did that. Like, he rotated everywhere, he got kills, but in the end, it still wasn't enough. So we're gonna have to see what happens this game. And last game, we saw the OD banned out for good reason. Danish Bears, like, fiend this hero. They constantly pick it. And they just wanted to ensure they got, you know, a good hero, right? They picked up the Chen. They were hoping they would get the trade Chen for an Earth Spirit, but Danish Bears are aware of that, and they're just like, oh no, we don't need that. We're going to pick up both of the mid heroes here. Obviously, one is going to be going to the safe lane, most likely the OD in this situation.
Usually the way to go here, so DB, they're laying all the cards on the table right now. Sometimes you see the OD being picked up first, and then Invoker kind of being picked in the second phase, maybe creating a bit of, making it not absolutely clear what the lanes are going to be looking like. But then at the same time, Invoker safe lane is also a thing that has been done before. So if DB want to throw us another curveball, I mean, the lanes were not what we expected in the last game too, so every reason to assume that this may not be the standard lanes here either, but we'll have to wait and see until we see the rest of the draft. As Navi, they get themselves the Chen, so we're talking about early push. That's that handled early push, early pressure, and now the Bat Rider for General, arguably his best hero, I want to say.
Yep, I would say General's best hero is probably the Bat Rider, and the biggest problem now, it's going to be whether or not he can get away with the greed in the off lane. And, you know, he's not going to be getting triple kills this time, unless maybe the Chen rotates or he gets some help out. Because against an OD, it's going to be very hard for him. Unless, you know, you have this Astral, you use it, and then all of a sudden Bat Rider has, you know, 3 stickies on you, and then he just goes in for the kill, because at level 1 the cooldown is 22 seconds on the Astral Imprisonment, so General can play really aggressive at times. And I love what Danish Bears are doing right now. They're banning out the Nature's Prophet still. They know Navi like to play really hyper aggressive, and they'll still pick it up, and they're banning out the Drought too. It could be what Navi are planning to do, but Danish Bears don't want to deal with that heavy push strategy, because right now they have an OD and an Invoker. They're just trying to set up for kills around the map.
In Drow and Nature's Prophet, this kind of strat would have worked well for Navi, with the Bat Rider kind of setting up, Prophet teleporting in, adding that +1, and then the extra damage from the Drow. This is the kind of recipe that sometimes turns into these sub 20 minutes wins, even if you manage to execute it in laning stage. But that's being denied by Danish Bears. They picked themselves up the Witch Doctor, so a very solid laning support. Maybe not the most aggressive here, but defensive capabilities are there. A lot of sustain and push, and later down the line, some extra damage from the Death Ward. Do you think they actually need more counters to the Bat Rider here? Is Navi actually picking one of the more popular counters up themselves here with the Vengeful Spirit?
Yeah, they had so much more push to their their power push or power plays, whatever. And like you said, it's kind of like, well, Danish Bears, maybe they would have went back for the Vengeful Spirit. They still do need another support hero, and they just wanted the Witch Doctor first because Witch Doctor and Venge both complement Chen a lot. One is the heal, and then Venge obviously the aura, and then since like I talked about last game, fourth pick, it seems to be like Danish Bears bread and butter. It's either the Puck or the Viper. I've seen it this is the second time now. It's kind of weird seeing it now. They really love putting the Puck into the offline. This is like some Cloud9 level 2-3 years ago with sensing.
This is really old school indeed.
Yeah, this is good stuff. I'm loving it.
Dire team ban.
Not loving the like and pick into the Puck though. Aim phase should be alright, but it's especially against Puck and DOD. I mean,
it's like
once...
int heroes, forehand heroes versus push. All right.
I mean, sure, the int heroes. If Lycan gets on top of them, then they might just be able to munch them down, especially once he has some Echo creeps or something to also benefit from his skills, making them very dangerous actually single target damage dealers. But you have a Puck with a Dream Coil, you have OD with the Imprisonment the last 4 seconds, wasting so much time on Lycan's ulti that I don't feel it's a really good pick here.
Yeah, Lycan is an amazing pick here once he gets the BKB.
Yeah.
And then you're pretty much screwed on the side of Danish Bears because you have no physical DPS or whatsoever on your side, and that's the problem with their lineup right now from DB. So if they can hold on till Lycan has that Necro 3, has that BKB, and they're not too far behind. Let me say that they could be like 20k gold down or something, and then Lycan get BKB and it won't matter. But they should be able to win this game pretty easily on the backs of a BKB line, just because there's no physical DPS. And then watch Witch Doctor have an Ags, and then he completely destroys the Lycan BKB, and I'm gonna laugh. But that was a really nice Enigma ban. Give him a shout out there, because that's the one problem with the Lycan, right? If he's running at you constantly, you get this black hole off, and then say they isolate the Venge and he doesn't have the swap, could be really good. And already Danish Bears laning phase is extremely good, so a jungling hero would complement them really well.
That's absolutely the flip side here. Once Lycan gets up to the BKB, or even before that, if the rest of his team can kind of fight 4v5 for a while with the Chen early on, that might be possible. Then there's still the split pushing component, the split pushing route that Lycan can go for and create his own advantages that way. But DB with the Enigma bans, I think about something like a Bane here, just to have something that goes through BKB, some sort of fallback plan. Alright, they go for Tusk.
Yeah, I like your Bane. They normally do pick Bane. That's what I was gonna say too. I mean, I saw it where they picked or banned it like 3 games in a row, and it's just a really good hero, like you said. But at the same time, it doesn't help out against the Chen as much. Obviously, they're gonna be a lot. It doesn't help out against some swaps here that saved, and the Fiend's Grip is pretty useless. But on the other side of things, Tusk, he can roll in, maybe help save somebody lassoed, and so it's going to be very interesting to see if Danish Bears can survive this onslaught of Navi's push. Yeah. It seems like we're seeing the exact opposite of last game, but even more so from Navi's side, where we saw like Enchantress last game added a lot of the pushing power. This time it's just like, we're going to throw the whole damn book at you, not just a page.
What's missing is a Pugna.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a Shed of Shaman.
Let's just play 10v10, have 10 push heroes on one side and 10 non on the other, and see what happens.
That could be interesting, yeah, absolutely. But well, Death Prophets, Lycan, Chen. The great thing is they also push it kind of different timings, right? Chen can start pushing at like the 5-minute mark, 4-5-minute mark. Lycan as well as the Death Prophet get online a little bit later here, once they have the ultis, once they have like their basic items at the ready.
Prepare for battle.
But yeah, guys, if you're just tuning in, welcome. My name is Dragon Job. I'm joined by Ryo Burrows here for game number 2 in this best of 3 series in the Epicenter qualifiers. Na'Vi, they're down 1-0. They have to win this game if they want to keep their hopes alive, at least when it comes to the upper bracket. Danish Bears though can feel a little bit more comfortable. Let's take a quick look at lineups. They already have a 5-man smoke. General not quite popping it. EB going north. Well, General would have been on the high ground. Instead, they cut into the jungle. Smoke will pops, Nakeo, and now Dendi on the high ground here. Snowball with pretty much everyone here except for Finland. Will connect. Sunstrike will not land. But Dendi is in a really rough spot here. Tries to walk out, but the right click should be enough. There it is. First blood being drawn by
30
ASDF
seconds to
here, playing the Witch Doctor. Pigman Shack playing the Invoker. ST Joe playing the Puck once again in the offlane. Noya on that roaming Tusk. And we have
they go.
the play by
Roll
ASD
again.
gonna go again. Two heroes there, putting on pressure on Tichira.
That's really
Well,
good though,
It is.
because that's forcing him to chew through his tangos, and just because I think they're doing a dual aggressive lane here. Oh, Ace is in trouble now though.
Battle begins.
This is what happens when a Bat Rider gets on your ass. You just can't do anything.
It's a long road up to the top lane now. I just missed some XP of CS as a result of that, but yeah, or at least Batrider will be there a little bit quicker. Yeah, do you want to introduce Navi?
Oh, yes, sir. And for the side of Navi, we got on the bottom lane, we have Ditya handling the Lycan, Soneko handling the Vengeful Spirit, Lifestyle handling the Chin. Mid lane, we have Dendi handling Death Prophet, and top, last but not least, General handling his Bat Rider, Infamous.
So with that out of the way, we can talk a little bit about lanes. As obviously, offlane Batrider are kind of the old standard. Sometimes you see him in the mid, played by heroes, played by players like S4, sometimes others, but it can work. But in this game, obviously, then you're taking that role up on a Death Prophet, which is kind of really hard to deal with for the Invoker early on. Would you agree?
I'm just watching top lane right now. It's 6 stacks, and he's
God,
just taking it. I'm not really surprised he didn't just Astral him, or he hasn't even leveled it up at all. I think he's really wanting to not skill Astral or something.
Hold on, middle lane, Pigman Check is dropping very low. They've got a Satyr here from the Chen. Only got the Hadouken out, and well, a little right click, another crit swarm will actually secure the kill on the Invoker.
Sorry, what was your question again?
In matchup against Invoker up against Death Prophet. I mean, the Chen rotation in, obviously it's skewing it a little bit, but in general, what are you thinking?
In general, I think it favors the DP a little bit early on, but once the levels start coming in, once you have the Forge Spirits getting the levels, once you start getting the regen up, then it becomes really hard for the DP to out CS you. But as for out harassing and men fighting, Invoker's not going to have a good time.
Yeah. So right there, a single charge of the Spirit Siphon. It was pretty much resulting in him losing half self of the accompanying right clicks as well. Oh, bottom lane, Noya gets caught here, so won't find anything down in bottom. No, Soneko comes in with a stun, they have another Hadouken if they needed it. The nukes are more than enough here. Good rotation from Artstyle as well as Soneko after securing the rune.
No, it's just showing how different pace of a game it is now when you have a jungler on your side and you're just getting the, like you said, the Satyr creep first. It's almost unfair. Oh, they're setting up on top lane here.
As the Astral Imprisonment, General tries to fly here, a little bit of a slowdown there with the cast, and a couple more right clicks still. I'm not sure if the level 1 Maledict is enough. At least he'll drop him low, and yeah, General knows that he couldn't have gotten out in time. He will resign to his fate. Ace will get himself back up and
bottom
flank
mid
table
lane
with the
we
rune,
have initiation Centaur. Here we go.
This is so
Doesn't
nasty.
even need it.
This is so nasty. I mean, third Siphon is bad enough. Then you have a Chen with not just a freaking Satyr, who has a 160 nuke on a what's the cooldown? 8 seconds. You can use 6 times. You also had a Centaur here if you needed it for an extra lockdown. This is almost impossible to deal with for anyone.
Honestly, if they have the Purge creep too next, that'd be like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Top lane, Ace is gonna have to take a lot of harassment here. General is playing a really good job, getting a lot of levels on the top lane, only feeding over 1 kill so far. Still doing a really good job here. And looking at the other side of things for DB here, Hestia Joe still doing pretty good on the offlane puck as well. Probably see the same build as him. It's really good to go for the phase boots in this offlane situation.
It's rotation in for Noya, so General should definitely end up falling here. Snowball comes out. Ace kind of burns a little bit with 5 stacks on top of him. If he was standing in the fire, he would have definitely died, but it stands. General unable to really get it out on top of him. So quick rotation there from the Tusk, ensuring that an extra kill, showing that this top lane is going well for them. They kind of need to do that, especially considering how the Invoker is faring right now.
No, they scouted out the smoke. Good job from Noah. No, mid lane they don't have anything. Snako wrap around.
Should be that Pingman check once again. ASDF comes in. Get the trade into Snako, and he will with a cask, keeping him tower range just a little bit longer. So it's a 1-for-1 trade, but once again it's the Invoker going down for like the third time this game.
Yeah, he doesn't even have boots.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest problem right now. He just can't even run. He's just like crawling, limping around. Just, please somebody save me. Movement speed of 280 at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's not even the beginning of the game. 5 minutes. Oh, courier. No.
Tree save him, but now Ace also finds out, okay, something nasty inside the jungle, something scary. So retreat to zone tier 1 tower, but yeah, Invoker feels like the guy that's being bullied at school because he's so knowledgeable. Everyone punching at him every once in a while. Wasn't even Chen rotation this time, it was just Snako coming in.
Yeah, it's bad enough when you have one support constantly on your ass, but then the next one comes in and you're just like, please kill me now.
Well, that's exactly what they did. So now, speaking of killing, oh yeah, that bottom lane does have enough mana for snowball. They can only snowball in.
Snowball
do
the
that
wolf.
here, and yeah, still be able to finish him off here with another stun and a couple of right clicks, giving it to Tijera.
I'm surprised you didn't snowball the wolf or wait to bait out the stun. Normally you wait till the stun from the Venge flies out and then you turn to roll, and then you probably roll on the creep there. But maybe at the end of the day he felt like he was still dead and just wanted to prolong the agony or something.
But
here we go.
Caught again, runs right into the center here, but ADCF comes back, gets a natural cast, but has to Joe. Nice little shots too, blocking him on the high ground. Very nicely
Kill the creeps! Kill the creeps!
Scalable.
What's up?
And just battling up against him.
They're just like, this is kind of weird actually. Artstyle was feeding them away. Oh,
Almost got Noya there, but wait.
That's a pretty
Just
big
3
deal,
creeps,
feeding
yeah.
over three creeps like that. Now he's got to go back to the jungle and fill up his army again.
Oh well. I just looking at Tijera, I haven't really talked too much about Lycan just yet. He's going for a stand build here, just normal boots, straight into the Vladimirs. I mean, sometimes we can build treads if you like want more stats. But what do you think he'll be doing? I mean, once you have the Vlads ready, you can kind of full-time farm the jungle until you get to push.
I see some people still go back for Medallion. Personally, I'm not a fan of the Medallion as much, but in this game he might want to get it for the early, Roche, and then transition into the Necrobook. But normally the standard is either, Vlad's into treads, into Necrobook, or just Vlad's in the treads. And then, he needs to, or Vlad's into Necrobook. And then he needs to get the BKB that I talked about. Once he has that online, it's like nigh impossible for DB to even touch him.
Well, he's in good pace here. 43 last hits. We're looking at worth almost pretty much close to the top net worth chart. Only eclipsed by Dandy. As many kills and assists that he's been able to make happen on Pingman check in the mid lane.
Mid lane, there to go, boys.
Yeah, Snowball, that should be a good kill here. Sunstrike will miss though. Cast comes out, and now Cold Snap. Plenty of damage instances to go. Spirit Cycle comes up on 1, on 2, not enough this time. General and Snako trying to go for the trades though. They have and don't have enough stun available actually. So ASDF, nice save there on Ace with the imprisonment art style. Coming in from the side though, the fight is still going on. Everyone coming in, wanting a piece of it. 1-for-1 trade as they do finish up the Witch Doctor. He bites back, even teeping back into the fray as Jen gets right clicks down after the Lycanthrope, who also died in the midst of that. Not sure what he was doing there, but well, I was thinking buyback not exactly necessary. They did win the team fight regardless. It's not a big gold commitment this early on.
Yeah, it's not at the end of the day, it's not, like you said, not a big deal just because it's on a support and it's not that much, but it was kind of useless, right? At the end of the day, it's a really good team fight coming in for D. I think he didn't have enough mana on Didia to cast his ulti, and that pretty much screwed them over during that team fight. he had a haste rune, so basically he was Lycan form, but he didn't get the crits, he didn't get the bonus damage, and yeah, that hurt a lot. Obviously, he had art style wrapping around there, and it helped out tremendously, but they don't have their ultis online. They don't have Chen level 6, Dendi got blew up
Dire's
immediately.
bottom tower is under
This
attack.
Witch Doctor Meldick build is working out perfectly right now. It's just amazing right now how much you can get done with a level 1 paralyzing cast. He's blowing up the Bat Rider top lane, and then he blew up Dendi there because of it. Else they would have been screwed.
It's the build is also quite remarkable, especially in this game, considering up against the Chen. You kind of want to have more points up in the cast, but now Call comes up from SC Joe, triple silence though from Dendi. Bird Siphons are going to keep himself alive. Look at this damage, look at the follow-up control from the Zeus Centaurs here. Chen with his ultimate now, not quite enough to keep Dendi alive though. Gonna try and turn him Pingman Chat with Noya and SC Joe, they're still cleaning house. They find Saneko, they should also find Outstal here on the retreat. The Centaurs, they don't have the stops available, and also a little bit too slow. Take a little while longer. Actually, he sends them back to him. Still end up falling.
It's like, it's the bait.
Help me,
It's
creeps!
here.
Oh, did you? Ah, yeah. Almost a complete block off here. Has he Joe? Needs to verify a little bit of help from the urn. Not quite enough as the wolves are fast enough with that ultimate form being popped. Oh yeah, should also be just right click down. Let's see snowballs. He gets some help from the Witch Doctor, but now he's forced to follow the Lycan and his wolves. And now, well, these things are still there. Level 1 in the cast, bouncing back. One center,
Oh,
not the
top
other.
lane, they've
now
got Ace.
being dragged
They've got his
back
number.
top lane. Okay, yeah. So much action just like that happening on the map. Who's getting the better end of that trade? Was it Navi again, wasn't it?
I think
I don't know,
Navi
yeah.
comes out ahead just because they're able to push down mid, bottoms down as well, and top lane looks to be going down here momentarily, depending on if there's TPs out or TPs up top. But yeah, just the pressure right now coming from Navi, it could be very hard for DB to, you know, quell the push. So we're gonna have to keep, and they're gonna have to get some trades, right? DB, they don't really have a Roche lineup, so they don't have like an Ursa to really come back into the game and get these easy gold. Well, top lane, nice silence coming in from Dendi, but doesn't really have the Yules to combo it yet. And then Vengeful Spirit, not close enough.
And then he dying a couple of times in these mid engagements, kind of hurting his item progression a little bit. At the same time, he's still way on top of net worth chart here compared to Ace, who's the highest farm on the side of DB. More than 1,000 gold ahead, but well, they say they didn't have a Roche lineup. They're still going to try. They have the Force Burst to tank a little bit of extra damage, and then Pigment Check and Ace just right clicking it down as much as they can. This is a bit sneaky here. Navi are not expecting this.
Yeah, this is the Arcane Orb, man. That's so annoying. And then I'm really surprised he's not even using his. Oh, he doesn't even have his Alacrity. What? Level 9, normally you have 1 in Wex, just so you have everything up. But yeah, just the Arcane Orb does so much work on Roshan, and he's got all the Essence procs in the world to really help out. And I might have misspoken. That was just like a minute of nothing really happening around the map, and just Navi are like, oh, they're probably smoked, and then all of a sudden Roche is taken out there just because they didn't check it out. So really well played. That gets Hestia Joe his Blink Dagger now, and it helps out a lot just for these supports, just having some extra items. The one thing I want to talk about quickly though that I haven't been able to is the Snowball into Sunstrike combo. That's got to be the most useless thing you ever see, because it's only 0.5 seconds.
Yeah.
You need reliably 2-second stun or something. So you have to kind of... I'm trying to think of what's going to help. Only thing I could really see happening is Snowball in when it's higher levels, max, and then Walrus Punch. That's going to help out, but...
Yeah, the full combo essentially, and then maybe some good ice shots, making sure that you can't walk out the straight way. It's hard to really pull off, but sometimes it works out. Yeah, we did see smoke that there from Navi. General still under the cover of it until it pops on the high ground here as they are setting up for the Stu2 tower push. Ken has all the creeps in the world. We can have that Alpha Wolf, obviously the actual wolves from the Lycan with the Howl, and now Hestia comes in with the 2-man call. The ice shot's kind of missing here. Chen keeping everyone alive. Now Danny comes in with his own ultimate Ace, trying to do some damage here with the ultimate, not really doing it now. Meatball comes in, should find Outstyle. He's just going down immediately. They will be happy with that, will not be happy with everything else that's happening in the back though. Ace now kind of isolated. SHO, he's blown his load. He can't do anything else anymore, apart from maybe just try and right click down So Neko, but Vincere, he had an ultra kill. He ended it all. That's a 5-man wipe for the Danish Bears. And the tier 2 going down, perhaps some pressure on tier 3 as well.
Yeah, even you could call that even a 6-man wipe considering it was an Aegis. Oh my goodness. And like you said, this just because of how many creeps they have an Alpha Wolf too. Oh my goodness.
They have an Alpha Wolf, they have Howl, and the Gajillion creeps.
The tower,
And
poor tower.
Is...
Level 1, paralyzing cast not doing work now.
Yeah. this is where the cookie crumbles, right? This is exactly why you generally want high levels in cast, but they still get a lot of these creeps. Tower still stands, so we'll be able to 9. Let's see, catapult! Ah! Catapult! Ah, he gets it! Oh, that's the it's in 9. Okay.
Tuss.
Oh yeah, with
Nice,
the timing.
nice.
Alright, it's all good, it's all good.
So, yeah, that team fight was just immediately won once Taneko got the swap. It just puts Dindy on the high ground. He pops his ulti, he pops every single thing that he wants, and there's no way that they can even keep initiating. So, at the end of the day, it was a really nice initiation on Hestia Joe, but he's kind of like feeling like the Faceless Void this game, where you have to get like 3 or 4 man Chrono, 3 or 4 man Dream Coil Silence to really win a team fight. And yeah, they have to find a way to focus down Dindy, but that Sandy's Eclipse is really underwhelming. It's just gonna burn his mana. It's not doing any damage right now. Art style, rip.
Should get caught here with the Maledict, a couple of right clicks here, even Mechanism not enough to help you, even commit the Death Ward. That won't hit, but he'll still take out. Everything you can get right now is going to be good for DB, just trying to stabilize a little bit in this game. They will get a tier 1 tower here, of course being delayed by the glyph, but at the same time, Navi is punching away, they're tier 2 up top, and they push much faster. We've got Hestia here, trying to delay, but he has to be careful not to get caught out.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower.
Just
Creeps
watching the
trying
creeps
to help
die. Yeah.
What's the question? Did we see Blink Lasso just yet in this game?
No, the thing is, what happened in the last team fight was General, he blinked in. He was really close to getting the lasso off, but then the Invoker cold snapped him, and they were able to focus down the Bat Rider, and just the Bat Rider. And I think he was able to still get it off, but at that time it was just, you know, Dindy's exorcism that was just doing so much work, like in just running over people, and then the mass summons. So it's going to be very hard for DB to fight outside of the base, and even defending the high ground, it's going to be very difficult. It's just so much push coming in from the side of Na'Vi. I'm just trying to figure out ways for them to really stick onto either Dindy or onto Ditya and find a way to blow them up.
Kinda need to have more time for the OD to right click away. And it's all he really needs. It's much like a Slark in this sense, that all you really need is some time to right click. You'll build up intelligence. You'll also beef up your Sanity's Eclipse. The last fight Ace was kind of forced to drop it early, so it didn't quite have that massive AoE damage that you're normally expecting. The problem is, I mean, you talked about Puck kind of being the Faceless Void, being in the same role. Yes, but at the same time, it's even worse a little bit, because yeah, you can drop the call, you can drop the silence, you can still kind of move around, they can still fight back. As in a Chronosphere, kind of have the OD sitting on the outside, just right clicking away, having no worries in the world.
Yeah, I think it's better though this game, just because they actually have some D push. With Faceless Void,
sure.
you have 0, and it's all predicated on initiation, and you have to get that. And then in this case scenario too, they have the Venge swap out, which would be like really bad for a Faceless Void. But
yeah,
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm not saying Faceless Void would have been a good choice here, just that
when
it comes to teamfighting, when it comes to standing up for the OD, to actually do
have free reign to hit.
It would, yeah, exactly. Yep. They don't really have too many strong knockdowns here.
They just need 5 hexes.
Yeah, exactly.
Go.
Yeah.
Right now.
What is the single target stun? The Tusk with a little bit, maybe second in total, the second half. Which Doctor only now is starting to put some extra points into the cast, which is far from reliable. And yeah, DJRI, he has his level 3 Necro book, 2k gold in the bank. Maybe he wants to go for like earlier boots of travel. Actually, Blink Lasso on Hestia. So Natus here with a follow-up stun. Do they have enough to bring him down? Sans comes out, Toll comes out, just to try and keep them away. Still burning inside the fire though. Ace, it's another setup that he can actually get a kill here. So Neko will be right click down with the cold snap being used, but now Tejira comes in with his whole menagerie. ACF kind of just fucking in, he's being ignored as they just swipe down the Invoke and then once they turn on him, there was like half a second that he stayed alive. Cask or no cask? Wow, it's just Sam's Navi running all over DB. Now they find Ace in the backline with Fuels and the Spirit Siphon. It's him down the drain as well. DB are back to the fountain. Navi claim the setup racks. He says soon they should be able to do that. Buyback commander side of Ace as well as Pigman shaking, and they need to make something happen, but the tracks have already fallen. Dandy comes in with Soulsmith only now. And now the buyback comes out from the clouds. This is all or nothing right now. They need to get something here if they want to stay in this game. Eric's taking damage. No initiation yet for DB. They don't have the coil for another 10 seconds as Ju comes in. Not enough to force them out for the time being, but they're sticking around on the high ground. He's built up kills out absolutely everyone. And now look at this AoE. CJO will be the first one to fall, and well, DB they just don't have enough. Do kind of AoE down the Batrider. Nice little death one there from Witch Doctor, but just too little too late. Swap out. Oh yeah, it's the next one to fall. Ace able to blink out, but he's the last man standing. No more buybacks. No more buybacks of note anyway.
This is where you call GG boys.
Exactly.
This is
needed
over.
an example. This is the textbook example. There it is. Ace has kind of just looked up and confirmed it. This is what we call GG, and then he does it.
That's what happens when you chase when you have no vision, but you just sit on top of the high ground with a DP and just silence everyone, and there's just too much healing coming in from the side of Chin. Hand of God, you have all this. It's just way too much pushing power. It's going back to the first game where Navi, they could have had a chance to win if they played absolutely perfectly. This game is kind of the same